Ashley, are you ready for this episode today?
I'm ready.
Awesome, because this is going to be an exciting episode. Today, we're taking you back into time to learn about a woman that nobody's heard about until now. So get ready for another exciting episode of Poolside Cooking.
Let's sit by the poolside. The weather feels so good tonight. Sip on the red wine. Everything is so nice, yeah, it's time to settle, yeah. Because right now we gon' take a dip, then we gon' sip, yeah. Poolside cooking, the flavor is right, eating all night, yeah. Poolside cooking, the taste with a smile on your face. Not a thing will go to waste, it's all good.
And we're back, and this time we're back with something very interesting today on Poolside Cooking. Some of you know him from this channel right here, WTKR Channel 3 and WGNT Channel 27 from the Emanuel Hope Foundation. But there's something that Emanuel Yancey does that's very rare in the Hampton Roads community, and that is storage wars. Is that what you call it?
That's what I call it.
Storage
Absolutely.
wars. And you know, it's interesting because you actually found some stuff that is really relevant. So this is why we're calling this the Elizabeth Wilson story. Tell us how you got into this.
Well, Emanuel Hope Foundation, as you well know, we provide complimentary lawn care service for our senior citizens. And we are a nonprofit organization that's been in existence now for, we're in our 6th year. And it's been an arduous journey, to say the least. And to raise money for Emanuel Hope Foundation to continue to do what I'm passionate about, had to figure out, get creative. And so I thought about storage wars. Bidding on...
Were you a fan of the show?
I was, loved it.
Okay.
Loved it. So I thought I'd start bidding on it myself. And I came across a lot of treasures.
Now,
I've been very successful at it.
there was a couple things that stood out the most when we were off camera.
Okay.
And one of those things was the guitars.
Yes.
Okay. How many guitars were there that you found?
13 guitars in the storage unit.
13 guitars. And the owner, just tell us what happens to the owners of this stuff. How does that happen?
Well, the owners aren't known, but sometimes you're able to dig into the storage unit. And this particular one, I was able to discover birth certificates, identification cards, all kind of identification that led me to the person.
Wow.
So this is another story.
Wow.
But I actually met that person. He was homeless, and I was able to spend time with him, give him some of his property back, because there was so many things in the storage unit that were valued. Autographed sports memorabilia, boxing gloves. Clearly the person that owned this storage unit was very wealthy. Even a diamond ring was discovered in this particular storage unit.
Wow. Wow.
And so I got to know him. He was homeless, living in his truck in Virginia Beach, and he told me his story.
Wow, and he had some actual guitars signed by some very popular people.
Yes, Rush. He had a lot of Rush memorabilia
Wow.
in there, and it was 11 guitars. And those things were also to produce resources for Emanuel Hope Foundation, and that's one of the reasons that we're still in existence for our 6th year right now, and still blazing the trail in the community.
You know, man, I have to tell you, bro, you know, I've seen so many businesses throughout Hampton Roads, and all of them, you know, are impressive. But yours, my friend, are one of the most impressive businesses that I've seen yet.
Well,
And that's because you help the elderly. And speaking of the elderly, we're about to introduce the world to Elizabeth Wilson. But I'm gonna let Emanuel tell you a little bit more about about Elizabeth Wilson. She's obviously was someone that somebody needs to take a serious look at. Plus, we're looking for some of her family members, so we can show you all the stuff that he collected from the storage. Tell us a little bit about Elizabeth Wilson.
Well, what was most intriguing about her is not just that she's a woman, but that she's a black woman, a business owner, and not just an entrepreneur, but her business dates back to 1946 for its establishment. And in the South, and in an all-male dominated industry. She was a master barber. Imagine that. Wow. In 1940.
Wow.
A woman business owner.
A woman business owner that was a barber in the 40s. Wow, come on, man. Let's go, because you've got so much stuff that belonged to her. And obviously, the family just gave up on it. And we have some stuff here that goes back into the 40s. As a matter of fact, I like to, let's show the audience the Coretta Scott King invitation or bulletin or flyer of when she invited Coretta Scott King to speak at an event. And that's her flyer right there.
This is actually a program from a Women's Day event, an annual Women's Day event. This one was October 20th, 1963. And Coretta Scott King was the guest speaker at this event. And clearly she has notes written at the top, handwritten notes, so she was definitely an attendee of this Women's Day event. And not only that, there was also another woman that was a guest speaker, and this was in 1968 at this same Women's Day event. It's an annual event, but this one was Mrs. Virginia K. Noel, and some of you may know her in the Congress and in the Senate.
Oh, wow.
Many years.
Wow. You know, it's so important to kind of keep track of our history, because 100 years from now, somebody's going to be looking at all this stuff that we've done in Poolside Cooking. This is going to be history. Well, it actually is already history, but people are going to be looking at that stuff. So this is why it is so important that we start, you know, kind of saving and just harness the stuff that's valuable to us. Look at this stuff. You know, God only knows how much stuff this is worth. And I don't know if y'all remember these or not. This is how women used to put their perfume on. Like a little squirt, squirt, you know, that type of thing. And as a Mason, our sister organization is the Eastern Star. And this is an Eastern Star book dating back almost 100 years that he found into the storage.
1913.
1913. This is absolutely amazing. And, you know, now this is the thing that captured my boss, Jimmy Hewlett's attention, was Avon. Okay, Avon. This is Avon from back in the day. Okay, like back in the 40s. Okay, we just found out today that Avon was actually established in the 1800s. And the smell is still here, guys. It's still here. Man, I tell you what, is there any more exciting news coming from the Emanuel Hope Foundation this summer?
Undoubtedly. This is extremely important.
What is that?
This actually details the plight of her business. It informs us that her business was in existence for at least 50 years. This is a letter that is postmarked 1948. It is dated at the top 1946. And it is addressed to Mrs. Elizabeth Wilson, and it is congratulating her on establishing her new business, a woman's barbershop. It is also thanking her for allowing him to use her barber's chair. And that barber's chair I also have in the storage unit from the 1940s. So it could very well be her original or first barber's chair for her first woman's barber's business.
Wow.
This is her barber's license from Raleigh, North Carolina, that dates to 1996. So I just showed you 1946, and she was still a barber in 1996. So that's 50 years of barbering. And why is that important? For a few reasons. Because you have a woman, a business owner, and not just a woman business owner, but a black woman business owner in the 1940s. Imagine that. It's just significant for us to be business owners in that time frame, but to have a woman business owner back then and to be in an all-male dominated industry, I believe is very, very powerful and noteworthy. And not only was she just a barber, but it says she was a master barber and the president of the Master Barber Club in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Wow, absolutely amazing. Hey, look, guys, we got to pay some bills, so we'll be back in a minute with more Poolside Cooking. So, what makes you smile in the morning?
La taza fresca me hace sonreír.
Can you say that in English?
Of course, Fresh Cup makes me smile.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
I'm just asking people what makes them smile in the morning.
Well, I know what makes me smile.
What's that?
Walking into We Care Juice Bar and seeing Fresh Cup coffee and tea right here on the counter.
Wow.
Start your day off with a smile with a cup of Fresh Cup coffee and tea. Available now at We Care Juice Bar, 4239 Holland Road, Virginia Beach. Or visit us online at freshcup2u.com. Use promo code Poolside10 for a 10% discount. Call now for more information. 757-809-6654. Make your first cup a Fresh Cup.
Welcome back to Poolside Cooking. I'm your host, Ashley Marie. We got Chef Wimbo.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey.
I hear a lot of clicking and clacking and smoking and smacking. What's going on in here?
Yo, we're gonna do something that's elegant. Every time the show is airing at 8:30 in the morning for our locals in the area, we thought that would give them some breakfast. So we're gonna go ahead and do a breakfast display today.
Sounds good. Well, I'm ready for that. Stay tuned for more. We'll be right back on Poolside Cooking.
Would you mind if I touched, if I kissed, if I held you tight in the morning?
And we're back. And I tell you what, offline, some of the stuff that we looked at in this thing is nothing short of saying a treasure. Okay? Kind of give us some insight on some of the stuff you have out here.
Well, this is just basically the bare minimum. That the storage unit was full of furniture. Actually, the barber's chair was most exciting to look at it. The hydraulics still work on the chair. The chair was in excellent shape. So just to think about this chair potentially being maybe the first barber's chair of a woman barber, black woman barber in the 1940s owning a business. Does that even exist? Outside of what we have? It's a good question.
You know, I can't think, I can think of a woman barber here in the Hampton Roads area, but they're far and few in between. Okay? But just imagine being back then, you know, in the 40s.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, that's a story in itself, a black woman barber, but just imagine all of the things she had to go through back then. We just finished talking about this on radio this morning on how hard business is.
Yes.
Business is not easy, and it's not for everybody. Business is not for everybody.
To look at her business card,
This is her card from back in the 40s, guys.
it says ladies barber, community barbershop. So it wasn't just her as a barber, but she had women barbers alongside her. And she ran her barber business for 50 years.
Wow.
And not
50
only
years.
that, what most intrigued and inspired me
And show her their picture, her picture.
is this news article here. Now here it states that seated in the front is the president of the Master Barber Club of Raleigh-Durham, and it is Mrs. Elizabeth Wilson seated in the front. And the chair that she's seated in, I have that whole dinette set that was in the storage unit as well. And the antique furniture, they call it waterfall, that's in the storage unit that I have. I had some people look at it, and they say that the person that owned this furniture in that time was very, very wealthy. And I believe that was during the Black Wall Street time. And I think they burned the buildings, and a lot of people that were wealthy didn't necessarily want to be known and publicized. So it's been difficult to find any information on Elizabeth Wilson outside of what's in the storage unit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And if anybody out there that may know this woman, give us a call on the number below. Call the studio. We just like to know. We like to know more about her because there's so much here that, and then some of the items that the family may like to, you know, receive and keep as memorabilia for your family member. It could be somebody's auntie, somebody's grandmother. It could be a sister, brother.
A gold pencil, 24 karat gold.
A gold pencil.
I don't know what this item is here, but it's a piece of jewelry, but it has some sort of spray attachment to it, so I'm not sure, but I know it dates back.
It's kind of spooky too, you know. But it, you know, it's just, what is this?
This is standardized textbook for barbering, published by the Association of Master Barbers in America. And this book, this one dates back to 1936.
Wow.
She had a hymn book in there. This one dates back to 1903. So this book is almost 121 years old to say.
Wow. 121 years old. I tell you, man, you know, this is so interesting. And again, I want to emphasize that if any family member is out there that knows Elizabeth Wilson, from back in, well, what do we think she passed away? What year?
If I remember correctly, it was 2012. Looking at
Okay,
some of the items that I have, I believe it was 2012 that she passed away. I acquired the storage unit in Newport News in 2021. So I've had everything that was in that unit. I'm still holding on to everything. I actually believe that this story is reminiscent of the Hidden Figures, where outside of what I have at my where I have all the items at in here, you research her, you can't find anything about Elizabeth Wilson. I've searched, I've Googled, and this Google era, Google knows everything, but Google doesn't know Elizabeth Wilson. But all of these items speak to the wealth she possessed. It speaks to her prominence in the community back then. It speaks to a very powerful woman. And a lot of times the strength that women wield is not noted, is not acknowledged, but this is evidence before us. I mean, then a member of a sorority, here's a Zeta, a book that goes back to, this is 1977.
One of her sorority sisters might know her.
So
you know, that might be a way to get in touch with some of the family members. But I tell you, well, Manny, what is up for Emanuel's Hope Foundation? What is going on? Because you got so much stuff going on.
Well, I am excited about the up-and-coming mentorship session. It's called the Deep Dive Session with Damon John of Shark Tank.
Damon John,
Yes.
Oh my God. Are you prepared?
Be ye also ready. How do you prepare for something like that?
You know, one thing
Tell
I
me.
learned about TV and radio, all you can do is be yourself.
I just show up.
You know,
I don't know
just
what else
show
to
up.
do.
Just be yourself.
Show up and trust God and open my mouth, and he feels it all the time.
Yeah, and look at what you already accomplished.
You know, Clarence, one of the things that has allowed me to take Emanuel's Hope Foundation to where it is today, because it's been an arduous journey, not easy by any stretch,
I don't expect it to be easy.
are the 3 P's. Praying, praising, and pressing. I believe that your press is your faith in action. You pray for what you desire. You praise him for what you know he's going to do. And then you press. And that's evidence of it. And my seniors know that Emanuel's not going to stop. Because it's been a journey. And the story will be told someday of how Emanuel's Hope Foundation began with a truck and a trailer, broken down, started off in a van, loading the lawnmowers up in a borrowed van, and then where we are today, meeting with Damon John. It's been a blessed journey, and this is just the beginning of.
Tell
where we're
Damon
actually
John
going.
about this story as well, if you can.
Oh, I will. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Tell him about this story, because this is an amazing story. Now, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Is there a way we could get some of your elderly patients, or do they call patients or clients?
No, they're my
to
friends.
come on out by the pool
They're
this
my
summer?
friends.
And we could get them out there swimming in
They're-
the pool and
they're
they're just having
treasures.
a good time.
Yes.
You know,
Why
I think
not?
that would be so cool. You know, I know when my grandmother was living, she would love the beach. And she would come down to the beach and we would just have a blast. And I would love to see some of the Emanuel Hope Foundation people that you work
Clients.
with, clients
Our
that you work
seniors.
with, come on out to the pool and have a good time.
Someone has to care about the plight of our seniors.
Yes.
And God has blessed them with long life. They are our treasures here, and we have to treat them like treasures.
How do we get in touch with Emanuel's Hope Foundation?
Visit our website at www.emanuelshope.org and become a monthly contributor. You be the reason why a senior is smiling each and every day, because their road is arduous and it's hard for them sometimes. So you be the reason why they smile. Emanuel's Hope Foundation, www.emanuelshope.org. Visit us today.
We'll be back.
Oh, yes. No. I threw you off guard. I'm trying to get in my Miami vibe. It's summertime.
Oh, okay.
Gang.
You bring a little. Well, you do all that, and I'm gonna bring the heat to the kitchen.
Ooh, hot like fire.
What we got
Yes,
for today?
indeed. So right now I got 2 pans going. I'm going right now with our pancakes. We're doing a strawberry pancake. And I'm gonna make them jumbo because we got a lot of greedy people that's behind the scenes.
Okay.
So I'm adding my pancake mix down. I'm going to wait for it to start forming and bubbling. When it starts bubbling, that's letting me know that the air is coming through and is going to be ready to turn over.
Pancake.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
And this one right here is going to be used for my home fries. So I got my home fried potatoes. I got extra virgin olive oil and unsalted butter. I just put in some garlic. I'm gonna go ahead and put in some onions. And we're going to enhance it with that New Orleans style with some peppers. So this is definitely going to enhance the flavor into the home fries that we're doing.
And some color.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So while that's going, the pancake is going to start fluffing up, guys. And once it starts fluffing, there's a variety of ways you could incorporate the fruit if you want to use it. I'm just going to lay the layers on top so that every time you take a slice and a bite, you're getting some of that deliciousness in there.
Sounds good.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So with that being said, I hope everyone had a great week, and thank you guys so much for tuning in to Poolside Cooking.
Yes.
The summer is upon us.
Yep.
Look at that. She's ready for it.
And speaking of, real quick, I am very inspired by Miss Elizabeth Williams and her story. She definitely inspires me to, keep being a boss and an entrepreneur. And look, I can't even talk. I'm watering from my Yes, but on a serious note, yeah, she is definitely a leader, and
she's done great things, so stay tuned. So we're going to go over more information about what this woman has been doing way before our generation.
Oh, yeah.
So we out there early birds, because early bird get the food, you dig? Gang, gang. So I got that going. That's good to go. Excuse me real quick.
So you just
Reaching
do
over
some
there.
strawberries in there.
Yes.
Is that how you do it?
Strawberries in there. I get that nice split. Excuse me again.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and start adding these home fries in there.
Okay.
Get that up out of there. So now I'm gonna crank it up because I want the home fries by having the butter or the oil in there as well. Once that temperature is nice and hot, it allows the outer layers of the home fries to get crispy. So it gives you that nice little bite and everything. Okay. And going back to the pancakes, I love to have it with butter. So while I turn it over, I'll go ahead and slide.
And he got the crisp on the edges, y'all. You gotta have it a little crispy.
Yes, indeed.
All
yes,
right,
indeed.
I see you.
So adding that to that is going to give it that crisp and give it that flavor in there as well. So while these things is going, we already had our bacon down, and we're gonna add some scrambled fluffy eggs to finish it off. And we're gonna just do breakfast for you guys at home with Poolside Cooking.
Yes.
And all of that. Another note, I want to give a shout out to the Baptist Church out in Suffolk. We had my food truck was out there this weekend. I appreciate the love and support that's in the 757. So it's a lot of great things in the community that goes on, and we're going to dive into that deeply throughout the duration of this season, so that you guys know what's going on, what we're doing, and all of the great things that the 757 has to offer, right?
Yes, I love it. I love it.
And whenever you get thirsty or you want a great smoothie or a juice, you could.
We Care Juice Bar, located 4239 Holland Road. Y'all go get your smoothie, your detox, and get fit for the summertime. It's right around the corner.
Yes.
And speaking of juice, I have a mimosa to go with this pancake, y'all. So we'll be right back on Poolside Cooking. Poolside Sipping. I'm your host, Ashley Marie, and I'm getting ready to show you guys how to make a sunrise mimosa margarita. All right? So here are our ingredients. You're gonna add 1.5 ounce of vodka, your choice. We're gonna add 1 ounce of pineapple juice. 1 ounce of orange juice. Okay. And just give it a little shake. All right. We're gonna add our ice to our cup. And then just and for the fun part, to top it off, we have some Prosecco. That's what makes it your mimosa. Okay. Shake it. Woo! Yes. Top it off. Add your garnishment, orange. Get real cute and add a cherry. Boop. All right, Wimbo, where's my breakfast? Cause I'm ready. Sunrise mimosa margarita. We'll be right back on Poolside Cooking. Wimbo fixed up my plate, nice and pretty, and I'm ready to dig in. We're gonna try it. He did it again, y'all. He did it again. This is a 5-star meal over here.
Well, thank you, love.
I'm gonna finish this plate. High five, Wimbo.
Gang, gang.
I love it. Delicious.
You all ready?
See y'all next week here on Poolside Cooking.
Let's sit by the poolside.
And we will be right back. I don't mean that.
And action.
And we will be.
See you guys next week. And action.
See you guys next week for more. Why can't I show
Next
this?
week on Poolside Cooking.
She's gonna see you guys next week on Poolside Cooking while she finishes that good yummy.
Boom.
It's so good she can't talk.
Boom.
Is that what we want?
Let's try it one more time.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, action.
We'll be right back. Why do I keep saying right back?
You're weird.
You know this gonna be in the credits.